Butker trying to line this up. Winchester will snap it. Colquitt will hold it. 20-20 tie. High snap, pulled down. Butker's kick is out. It is right down the boulevard. It's good. And the Chiefs take a 23-20 lead with 4 seconds left in regulation. And Harrison Butker kicks some, you know what? Welcome to the Chiefs Kingdom.
How's it going, Chiefs Kingdom? You're listening to the Arrowheads Abroad podcast with myself, Brad Simcox. And with me is the Arrowheads Abroad very own Captain Phillips, Tom Childs. How are you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. So on the last podcast, you obviously weren't here for it because me and Dave had to do our own impromptu show about the Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
But we decided that Dave is now the Arrowheads Abroad Supremo. So yeah, Captain Phillips will have to do for now.
He's our Somali pirate now, isn't he?
He is. I think we do need to come up with a better nickname for me going forward. But for now, Captain Phillips will have to do. Yeah. My name is Tom. Captain Phillips is played by a Tom. So I suppose you can find that link. That could kind of work.
Well,
maybe?
As we found, nicknames kind of make themselves, don't they?
They do.
So, yeah.
You thought you'd chuck that in there?
I thought I'd chuck it in, yeah. I thought I'd get it in there like in the first minute of this podcast.
Really? I feel like, like ice hockey's really big on assists.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've got the goal, and rightly so got the goal. But I feel like I deserve at least like a second assist for
Mate,
this.
I'm celebrating. I'm going across the ice and I'm hugging the hell out of you.
Thank you very much.
That's how it is. That's how the assist goes on this.
But do you know how much slack I've got over the last week for apparently stealing your idea?
Do you know, there's that many people out there that went with this hashtag Legion of Zoom kind of nickname, where that there is quite a few. Should I call them my radicals? I don't know if I should say that. But my radicals, they seem to go, hang on a minute, Rich, you came up with that one. You can't have that. You can't steal it. So, yeah, I appreciate the support from everyone because there's a lot of people who ran with this. And I thank you all for it. And Tom was one of those, he actually came to me and said, can I use it? I was like, yeah, chuck it into the Arrow headlines. It's great, Yeah. So I was quite proud of it. And you were like, yeah, let's get it on a bigger platform than your Twitter page, Brad. And yeah, it seems to just go really well. And Pete even contacted me from Arrowhead Pride and said, "Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Let's use it." And it's just kind of taken off a bit, isn't it? I mean, it is. Whether you like nicknames or not, I mean, there's a lot of people don't like this Showtime nickname that Mahomes gets. But I did get some people going, no, that's rubbish. You want something like Speed Buddies. And I'm like, that's even worse than what I just suggested.
Terrible, isn't it? Speed Buddies. Send me their Twitter handle so I can go and abuse them, please.
There was so many people coming up with these other ones, and I'm like, it's good, but no.
What makes me laugh though is people get on at you and at me in my mentions for the whole Legion of Zoom that it not being a very original name because the Seahawks used it. But did they not realise that the Legion of Boom was not an original name themselves? Exactly. They took that from the Legion of Doom from wrestling.
Exactly.
So there's no such thing as an original nickname. It's already been used before. Do you remember the whole Showtime thing? Golden Tate kicked off because that's his nickname as well. But obviously Patrick Mahomes uses it. So it's basically who uses it best. Okay, the Legion of Zoom have got a long way to come to obviously get to the same sort of level as the Legion of Boom.
Well, they've got to back it up with a Super Bowl win now, haven't they? Basically, for it to stick.
But the nickname is fitting. We've got receivers that can run extremely fast and we've got speed everywhere on this offense, so the Legion of Zoom is just a fitting nickname. And well done to you, Brad, for finally getting that nickname out there, because I found an old tweet of yours and
2018.
No, earlier than that. You've been desperate to get this nickname out here for some time, because I've been keeping an eye on Twitter and the trends and whatnot regarding Legion of Zoom and looking at historical tweets regarding the Legion of Zoom, seeing if it's been used before. And you've tried using this once or twice before, I'm not going to lie. Most notably after the high five between DeAnthony Thomas and Tyreek Hill.
Oh
in Denver back in 2016. So you've been trying to push this narrative for the best part, so the best part of 3 seasons. But well done to you. You finally got the lead. Yeah.
So it's one of those catchy ones that just springs out to you,
Yeah. You just knew it would take off straight away. So basically, I feel like every time that the Chief fast receiver has scored a touchdown for the Chiefs, you've just been sitting there tweeting Legion of Zoom, just waiting.
Please, somebody pick up on it. I actually said it a few times on this podcast as well.
Oh, really?
I can't tell you what episodes they are. I'll have to listen back to them, but I don't really want to listen to our first ever episode.
No.
Because that's just cringe.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
But yeah, I'm quite proud of it at the minute. And the whole point behind it actually sounded like the Legion of Boom was just basically just to piss off the Seahawks fans, really, as well.
And a few own Chiefs fans, it seems, as well.
Well, yeah, some of them really hate it, and they're like, I can't believe you came up with that. I'm like, I'm sorry. I've been pushing it for 3 years. But yeah, anyway, that's my little, my little gift to the kingdom at the moment.
Your claim to fame.
Yeah.
Like, just think, I know we're still talking about this, but I don't even know who does Monday Night Football these days anymore, but say Tony Romo, if you hear Tony Romo using the term Legion of Zoom on a CBS broadcast, then you're going to be extremely proud of yourself knowing you started this nickname in 2016.
I'm so looking forward to the start of the season so that somebody's going to use it. I'd be so happy if, Mitch Holthus used it in one of his broadcasts as well. That would be the dream for Mitch to say it at some point, like screaming it that they've just scored a touchdown and the Legion of Zoom taste the sweet nectar of the end zone. It'd be good. It'd be funny. It'd be good. But I just know that my Twitter will just go ding 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 for ages. But yeah, that's
probably.
The dream, mate. That's the
more
dream.
than likely.
More than likely. Anyway, let's talk about some more exciting things that happen. We're going to be talking about the training camp, obviously, because that's what's going on at the moment. But let's talk about the arrivals to training camp.
Oh,
because there was a lot of people waiting on Twitter and Facebook and the world over was waiting to find out what the sausage was going to turn up in. And he did not disappoint, did he? You sound disappointed.
I think it was cool. I'm just not that into NASCAR.
You should have got out with jorts on.
I think he's done that before, hasn't he?
He should have done it out of the car.
See, I was hoping that he was going to go like one or two ways, where he was going to go completely outrageous, like Borat style Mankini, and like really go for the whole sausage thing, or go the other way and just go like in a suit and have like a briefcase with him or something like that. That's what I was kind of hoping he was going to go for,
like a city guy kind of thing.
Yeah, just like completely unexpected, to turn up like a banker or something like that.
Or an English gent would have been good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would have been good. What, a little bowler hat. Yeah, and a monocle. Yeah.
The Monopoly guy.
Yeah. Something like that. But, yeah, I don't know. The NASCAR thing, it sounds ridiculous, but it was kind of predictable. Which is just stupid, I know, but
you predicted it. Is that what you're saying?
It just didn't have the shock factor that I was expecting for an entrance. Now Dustin Colquitt, on the other hand, now that had the shock factor.
That was a good one, wasn't it? The specialists arriving for training camp, and Colquitt was basically saying he wanted to get Butker and what was the long slapper called again?
James Winchester.
Winchester, that's him.
Yeah.
Getting them there safely. I mean, this thing was like, you might as well have brought a tank. The size of the thing it was. I mean, when
big armoured bus thing.
Yeah, when it first went past, I thought that surely isn't Mahomes in like a missile launcher or something like that. Is he just really rubbing it in?
I can't remember what zombie film. What zombie film is it where they've got the bus with the little plough on the front of it and it's got weapons all over? Okay, it's got all protective. That's what this looked like. It looked like it was the perfect vehicle for like a zombie apocalypse.
It does, yeah. Just needs like knives on the front or something like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
More
and then Mahomes throwing missiles from inside it.
So, somebody's going to be actually painting that now. They're going to be drawing that image.
Yeah.
Mahomes stood on top of a tank kind of I don't know, military vehicle thing throwing
like the whole
bombs.
Gridiron Heights version of Patrick Mahomes, just on top of on top of their zombie apocalypse vehicle.
Oh, that starts again soon, doesn't it? Gridiron
does.
Heights. Oh, I love Gridiron Heights Mahomes.
Yeah. I can't do a Mahomes impression. I was that close to attempting a Mahomes
Were you going to do
impression.
it?
Yeah,
My favourite one was when Alex Smith was looking at the maze and he's saying, that's way too hard for me. And he goes, man, that's some fun, easy maze.
We've got it all to come.
I can't wait.
We're 6 weeks away from the season, and then Gridiron Heights start again.
How giddy do we sound, though?
I
We
know,
sound
it's mad.
so giddy that we're watching all the Chiefs camp. We can't wait for this season. We've even said in previous podcasts that 2019 was the season, was the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And yeah, I think we're kind of captivated by this, and it's shown that in the first few days of Chiefs camp as well.
Yeah, but just to stop you there, I feel like we felt 2019 was the year for like the Alex Smith led Chiefs, where I don't feel like it necessarily is the year for the Mahomes led Chiefs. Like it could well be, but I think the Alex Smith led Chiefs obviously had an expiration date, and they had a smaller window.
Yeah.
Where now the Pat Mahomes Chiefs, the window is wide open, and it will be wide open for the next 10 years. But I do get what you're saying with the potential like turnaround in terms of old quarterbacks in the league, and then obviously you've got this fresh young crop of talent coming in, that the Chiefs could be like nicely placed, that they should be the team that makes the run. So yeah, I entirely understand why people feel 2019 is the year.
Well, everyone feels as though everything's fitting into place a bit now, isn't it? Because things like the Chris Jones situation, he's come back to training camp now, which is great news. Stopped his holdout. We've got Frank Clark, who seems to be just really showing what he can do. Apparently he did a spin move today that everybody wet the pants from. That they were like, God, if he keeps doing this, it's going to be a fun year. So you got Chris Jones, and you've got Frank Clark right next to each other, just tearing it up. So we've got some nice little pieces in here. We've got the excitement of looking forward to Tyrann Mathieu. Brashard Breeland, there's another one. We've got Thornhill, who's one of the rookies. We've got on the other side of it, we've got Nicole Hardman. There just seems to be a lot of things now that are getting this fan base excited, and this Chiefs camp just feels different, and we can feel it across here, can't we? We can feel it over here, that the reports that we're getting through, because God, it'd be lovely to get to one of these training camps one day, but we're having to sit over here, like we're like sat on the bench, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're sat on the bench waiting to be called in just to go to this Chiefs camp and just witness what the hell's going on. But we're getting a lot of reports from everyone on social media and that, and lots of videos that we've been watching, and we're feeling it. We're definitely feeling it over here, mate, aren't we?
Yeah, it's really accessible, isn't it? It's like if you compare it to our football, where training is so much behind closed doors. Like they have the odd day every now and then, which they will open up to public. But that's mainly younger fans and families. But in terms of actually being able to see the team train and see them work on stuff, you just don't get it in our football, where American football, is more notably the NFL, is so much more accessible for fans.
Definitely.
And it's something that I do want to experience one day. It's just that I've got to weigh it up with what would I sooner do, or rather do. Would I sooner go to St. Joe or go to Kansas City for camp for a week or two, or would I sooner wait and go a couple of months afterwards and go see a game? Maybe like when I'm older and I'm grown up, or maybe when my kids are grown up, rather, I can go for an extended period of time and go and see training camp in the flesh, because
Take
it
your
does.
kids with you?
Maybe. I think that takes some convincing of the the old wife.
Yeah,
she's not my wife, but she will be.
She might be then.
She will be, because the Chiefs will win a Super Bowl, and you know what happens when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, but back to the point. There is a huge buzz around Chiefs camp and St. Joe at the moment. Like the attendance this year, what is record breaking? I think I read like 8,000 people,
something like that. It was either second best or the most or whatever. Yeah, it's
over the course of the weekend, and that's like everyone's talking about the team, but that's down to one person. That is the Mahomes effect in full flow. Like he is the superstar of the league now, and the Chiefs fans know it. They know they've got someone special there, and everyone just wants to go out and see their glimpse of Mahomes, and by all accounts he hasn't been disappointing so far.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it, how many new fans the Chiefs have this year from the Mahomes effect. People wanting to get into, watching the NFL and stuff, especially people over here in the UK, and you look and type in, who's the best quarterback in the league so far, and you've got Tom Brady and you've got this other guy called Patrick Mahomes who won the MVP. You're probably going to look at the young guy, aren't you, and think, do you know what, I might stick with that one, be a new fan of the Chiefs.
You only have to look at last year's highlights, and I feel like we're going over old ground here, but if you just put on last year's highlights, that alone, his 2018 highlights are better than most quarterbacks' career highlights. He has more standout plays than all of them, or most of them. So that alone should be enough to draw fans in. Obviously, Kansas City's got the big thing going against them, and that's Kansas City itself. And that's not me bashing the city, but it's just not a tourist destination to people over in Europe. People in Europe tend to stick to coastal cities and towns, or if they're going to go inland, they will go to the bigger cities like your Chicago's or Dallas. So Kansas City is fighting a losing battle there, but the great equaliser here and the great equaliser going forward is Patrick Mahomes.
Who would you rather watch? Yeah, exactly that. Well, I mean, Mahomes has been apparently he's been a notch above what he was last time. Apparently he's really looks comfortable, looks really confident. He's trying new things in training, and the reports coming out at the moment, Mahomes he just looks different and good different, which has got even more people excited. He threw an interception today, didn't he? But nobody's really worried about that because he threw about 11 in the previous training camp last year, didn't he? And look what happened. So, he's not afraid of trying new things, but he also looks as though he's got this chip on his shoulder. He's not stopped working, literally, since the AFC Championship game. And you can see that on the videos that we've been seeing, that he just seems as though he really, really wants to get that next level.
He's dialed in.
He is. He's totally dialed in. But I think he was dialed in as soon as that game finished.
I think he's been dialed in since he got into the league, to be honest. I think he could have been ready to play in year one. I'm glad he didn't play in year one because we've seen the benefit since, because Alex Smith worked wonders for him. But the guy is the ultimate professional, and I think that goes back to his upbringing, being surrounded by sports teams his whole life. But he's you can tell he's not motivated entirely by money. He wants to win the big one, and I feel like that last year was a missed opportunity. They were so close. They should have probably gone to the Super Bowl and probably should have won it last year, despite having a terrible defense. And I think Patrick Mahomes knows this, and he's desperate to get back or get to the Super Bowl and go and lift that trophy, which I hope they will. He
seems like his leadership is above everything else now. He is the numero uno.
He's the alpha dog.
100%
the alpha dog in that locker room now. Like last year, you could have forgiven him for being like a quiet figure because there was alpha dogs in there, the likes of Eric Berry, Justin Houston, but those guys have gone now, and he is the alpha dog of that locker room, and he is the true leader of that team now.
He's going to get more of his teammates listening to him this year, isn't he? So that's going to be a good thing. The loudest reaction that the Chiefs players got, or one of the players got at training camp, was Tyreek Hill. I'm going straight on to Tyreek Hill because we're going to get into the other players as well that have impressed us so far. But Tyreek Hill, training camp, received the loudest applause as he took the field, and it looked good to a point, didn't it? That we were looking forward to seeing Tyreek Hill and Mahomes connecting on the field, which we have been seeing. But then there was a bit of a situation in one of the press conferences which has left a little bit of would you say a bitter taste, but a bit of a question mark over how it's moved on a bit, how the whole story of Tyreek Hill's moved on a bit. So we're having to contend with that at the moment. Do you think that this is going to really affect the Chiefs in any way going forward, or is it going to affect Hill moving forward in this?
I think the storyline will die a death.
Yeah.
And it will once football kicks off. Like, obviously some people are going to bring it up every week because people will feel like he should have got a ban. And there's going to be a conversation and there's going to be questions asked every week. But in general, the football should do the talking come week 1. Obviously, it's still fresh in the mind, and I am of the opinion that Tyreek Hill could have handled the press conference a little better. I'm very much in the whole two wrongs don't make a right type of camp.
Especially when he was saying he's kind of grown.
That's where
above that now.
That's where it doesn't sit entirely right with me, because he talked about growing and he was very professional in his press conference, and what he was saying was he was saying all the right things for sure, and it just not just that show immaturity, but it didn't feel like it was entirely necessary at the time. I feel like he's been cleared, he's had his name cleared. The report, obviously, we won't mention names, everyone knows who it is. Asked a question, and he could have done better by himself by just answering the question like normal
and getting off the stand,
and just getting off the stand. And unfortunately, with him responding the way he did, whether you feel it was warranted or not, has drawn more attention back to the situation. And I feel like the Chiefs probably would have had a word with Tyreek Hill on how he handled it, and probably advised him not to do something similar again. And I'm hoping that this whole situation can be nipped in the bud, because by the law and by the NFL, it is done now. And once football starts, once games start getting played, it all gets not completely forgotten about, but pushed to the side so we can talk about Tyreek Hill's ability as opposed to his backstory.
I think it will do. I mean, I was on the mindset of, I thought it looked as though he kind of flinched when he heard the reporter's name. More of a reaction than something that he thought he was going to do pre-planned kind of thing. But it still happened. It still happened.
He provoked a reaction which was always gonna get, and I don't want to go too much into. I'm not. Because I know it's a subject which people are completely split on, and some people have got nasty over it unnecessarily, unfortunately.
Let's keep it classy.
And I feel like he knew that what he was asking, and he just made a point, I think. And some could say, he was within his right to do that because of what has been said before. But like I said earlier, two wrongs do not make a right.
Rise above it.
Rise above it. Yeah. Show that growth that you've talked about for the last 2 minutes in your press conference. Show that growth, and show that you are a grown up, a man that's willing to move on from it. So that's where I stand on it.
I think we should move on from it as well, mate.
Yeah, can we just be done now? Can we be done with the Tyreek Hill situation? Like, next time we talk about Tyreek Hill, can we just talk about his ability and his playmaking? Yes. Obviously, if something comes to light and there's another story about Tyreek Hill, we will go into it. But we get asked questions about Tyreek Hill and our opinions all the time, and I don't particularly enjoy talking about the subject anymore.
I've actually slowed down a little bit on
not that I have. By the way, sorry, I never enjoy talking about the subject. Just to clarify, it's a horrible. That was poor wording.
I think it's the duration that it's lasted. It's just been tiring, hasn't it? Really.
Yeah, that's exactly how it has been. Yeah. And can we just talk about?
Let's talk about something fun. Let's have a look. So we've got So we've been checking out the videos and Chiefs camp and everything, and we've already talked about Mahomes. Everybody talks about Mahomes. That's part and parcel of being the MVP. But let's talk about who his connections are as well on this, because it looks as though Travis Kelce's back. Doesn't seem to be having any problems with his ankle that he had with the surgery.
Good.
Yeah, he looks fit. He looks really, really ready to go. His drinking binges clearly haven't put a little pot belly on him, which I hate, because he seems as though he can drink for. I was going to say drink for England there, but he can drink for America, and he just doesn't seem to put any pot belly on, which I hate him for. But Mecole Hardman has actually been doing well as well.
Apparently so. Running with the twos looked quite good.
Yeah, he's looked really good. His speed is obviously something that everybody talks about, but it looks as though part of his route running game has really stood out in that as well. But like you said, if he's out there with the twos, he's probably going to look better if he's going to be that kind of player who looks to be one of those who could have replaced Tyreek Hill if that situation had changed
Yeah, now looks more likely to replace Sammy Watkins than he does Tyreek Hill.
And it seems as though that I was actually going to get onto that actually, because it looks as though Watkins looks great. Hardman looks great. We've talked about the wide receivers before in there. But there was one surprise in there that seems to keep coming up at the moment, and that's Byron Pringle. Mm-hmm. He's doing some amazing things in Chiefs camp at the moment, and I just wondered, is this the start of the hotting up process now of this wide receiver group, do you think? Is this going to be like the battle that everybody's going to be watching?
I have no idea who's going to make the roster out of these wide receivers.
That's the problem we face.
And obviously you got locks, Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, DeMarcus Robinson. They're locks. Yeah. But then you've got other guys. You've got Dieter, Kemp, Pringle, Custis. You've got all these guys that are on the outside looking in as well. Are they going to make it? How many receivers are they going to carry? Mm-hmm. How many tight ends are they going to carry? Because that will affect how many receivers they carry as well. And so I think they'll probably carry 6 or 7. Yeah. But Pringle seems to be impressing, and I know they were a fan of Pringle last year, and obviously they give him the mystery IR status, so they could carry him through the season and obviously use him this year. So I think Pringle makes it. I do think he makes it. It's more speed to the Legion of Zoom. Dieter's the one I just don't understand.
I'm glad you said that, because I don't either.
Yeah, it's nice guy. Great guy. And
he's good friends with Mahomes as well. That's probably what's helped him a bit more, but I just don't know how he fits in with this wide receiving core now.
Well, put it this way. If Pat Mahomes wants him on the roster, he can stay on the roster.
Yeah, you're right. Best buddies with the the MVP of the league. You're gonna keep them around, don't you?
Exactly. If he keeps him happy, then I'm all for Dieter being on this roster. But based on play alone and ability alone, I'm not too sure he has a spot.
I think he's slipping down the order at the minute.
Yeah, because Marcus Kemp is a better special teamer than him. Custis has impressed so far in camp. Obviously, it has been shorts and t-shirt for the majority. Yeah. But we'll have to wait and see on Dieter. That's going to be an interesting one, because some people are saying, he's definitely a lock for the roster, where I'm not so sure that he is. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out of a job come the end of August.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll soon see on that. Now let's talk about a bit of a concern at the moment from most Chiefs fans is, and we need to tread lightly on this, because this is been the first day they've been wearing pads as well and been able to actually hit each other. Mm-hmm.
And they didn't even do that, by the way. They were playing FUD today. Yeah. They were doing FUD, not full tackle.
Oh, thud, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But the first day or two, they were actually just throwing the ball around. They were having a few games, offense versus defense and all that. But the defense seems to be a question mark at the minute, especially in the cornerback area. Mm-hmm. And especially today as well. Actually, we just heard that Keith Reese has been carted off the training field with a suspected torn Achilles, which that's him out, isn't it? That's him out now for the whole season.
Yeah.
And it begs the question: do we have enough depth at cornerback? Do you feel comfortable in this cornerback unit at the moment?
If you asked me this question before Breeland's and Reese's injury, I would have given the same answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No.
It's definitely the Achilles heel, no pun intended.
There was a pun there. I heard that. You smiled at that a little bit.
of this team, for sure. And I am more than concerned about corners, because it's just a position that we've seemed to have neglected this entire off-season. Yeah. We all knew it was an issue last year. Obviously, we lost Steven Nelson, who wasn't great last year, but he wasn't awful either. Obviously, Scandrick was terrible. And we forgot about him. He's just been signed by the Eagles, by the way.
Oh my god! Really?
Yeah. #banter. But then you've got Breeland. We signed him, who impressed at the end of last year. But you probably would have him down as a replacement for Nelson, a like for Nelson. But we were still light on corner, and we still didn't address it. We didn't address it in the draft. Well, we addressed it with Rashad Benton.
Do you know he's got wheels?
Jesus
that lad,
Christ. He has, but he's a 6th round corner, and is he going to really amount to anyone or anything? Okay, you could argue Richard Sherman or blah blah blah, but Richard Sherman's a 1 in a million. But either way, you're not relying on Rashard Fenton to play snaps this year. Okay, you've signed Mark Fields as an undrafted free agent as well, but we're still so light,
aren't we? Yeah,
at corner, and this team has to address this before week 1. It has to be addressed, because if we go into the season with Bashar Breeland, Charvarius Ward, and Kendall Fuller, that's okay. But if anything happens to any of those three, we are screwed.
Which it can, which we saw with Reese.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, he's probably not like as part of the starting team, but
he was definitely back up for one of them.
Oh well,
100%. You could make an argument that he was the 4th or 5th corner on this team.
Yeah.
So he was the backup, or one of the backups for our 3 guys, and he's now gone.
But look how easy it could happen. You see,
exactly.
It could happen to any of the starters.
Exactly.
So, but who we've mentioned this before, and we keep going on about cornerbacks all the time. But is there anybody out there at the moment that you feel that you could poach from another team? Just go here's a few round, draft picks. Give us your cornerback, and we'll be happy. We'll be on our way, kind of thing. Is there anybody out there you feel would fit in nicely and is gettable, shall we say, approachable, that you feel that the Chiefs could get?
Well, when you're doing trades this part of the season and obviously into mid-season, you need to attack teams that are either in a rebuild or out of it, or out of contention. So it's pointless targeting a team like the Patriots or, I don't know, the Chargers, the Colts, the Jaguars, anyone in the AFC South, because they all consider themselves contenders.
They're quite happy, aren't they?
There's only a handful of teams that are actually, I would say, are in true rebuild mode, and those are the teams that you probably need to go after, because you need to go and get a veteran from one of them, a vet that doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. So this is where Patrick Peterson, he's suspended for the first 6 games. He is a prime example of the type of corner you should be going for, not just because of his ability, but because of the situation that he's in. He's an aging vet that's part of a team that are years away. And so Patrick Peterson like that. And if you look down the list of NFL teams, I list maybe 6 or 7 teams that are in true rebuild mode right now. I've got the Redskins, the Giants, the Dolphins, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Bucks, and then possibly the Lions.
Did you say Redskins there?
Yeah, they're the first team. So
don't mention him. Don't mention him.
So you've got 7 teams there. That you could probably target. Like, people are saying about, we should target the Vikings and try and get one of their corners, try and get Xavier Rhodes. But I'm sure that the Vikings consider themselves contenders and a true NFC player. So why would they want to get rid of Xavier Rhodes unless we were going to offer them a premium? And that's a premium that the Chiefs aren't going to be willing to pay right now. Because obviously you've got the contract situation to then come on top of it. So if I'm the Chiefs, I'm looking to probably free agency, if I'm being honest. And you've got Mo Claiborne, who obviously missed the end of last year, but who's been there, done that. He's got his injury worries now, but would be good enough, I feel like, as depth to add. Same with Sam Shields. He's a free agent at the moment. He's a guy that played really, really quite well when he filled in for the Rams last year. He's obviously a long-time Packer than Rams last year, and part of their group of DBs, which were quite good, including Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib, and he filled in with them pretty well. So I wouldn't mind right now for the Chiefs going for one of Claiborne or Shields and riding with them, and then assessing the situation after 2 or 3 weeks of the season, and if it's still really bad, then going after Patrick Peterson when his ban is up, because I think it's just 6 games. I think it is 6 games. So see how it going along for the first few weeks of the season, and if we're winning games, great. But if we're winning games but then getting torched on the outside, then I feel like the Chiefs would then need to pull the trigger on someone like Patrick Peterson.
The Chiefs probably need to get into that early, I think, as well, because do something similar to what the Browns did with Kareem Hunt, because Kareem Hunt's serving his suspension, isn't he? But getting Patrick Peterson in now, probably not now, but like nearer like a few games of pre-season, just to settle in, get his mindset in there, and then wait those 6 weeks out, and then he's ready, isn't he? The Chiefs have got a little bit of bit of time with him.
I don't think it is entirely necessary now, because if you're going to pay it, you're paying someone now that you might not necessarily need, because they might get into games and they think, actually, Charvarius Ward, Kendall Fuller and Breland are working out really, really well and the system's working. So why would you pay for Patrick Peterson now if those guys might be okay? So I think you should do the right thing and wait it out and see how it gets on first, and then feel like you need. Obviously, you'll probably have to pay a little bit more because the Cardinals will know there's a need there. But I don't see the point in ruining the chances of Breland, Fuller and Ward working out who would be much cheaper than Peterson. Yeah, just for the sake of having him for a preseason. Oh yeah, he would. And Peterson's that talented that you could just get in after week 5, week 6, plug him in, and he will just go lock down a receiver for you. Yeah. You could just plug him in and he'll play. But right now, I feel like they should ride what they got, maybe add some free agents, and then reassess after like 2 or 3 weeks. And if it is terrible, like we're probably expecting it to be, then go out to the trade market, maybe go after the Vikings, after the Cardinals, and then try and trade for the big guns to see if they can make the difference.
The player I think the Chiefs should probably go for is somebody like Darius Slay. He's had a good 2 years, the last 2 years anyway. He's 28 years old, so he's relatively young still. I know it's 28 sounds old in this team, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, second round pick. He's had 2 Pro Bowls. He was co-leader in interceptions in 2017. So that's the kind of player, and he's in that catchment of teams that, well, I feel as those teams that don't are in a rebuild stage kind of thing. But you don't seem to think so after their recent signing, do you?
Well, if you asked me this at the start of last week, I would have said, nah, the Lions are in a rebuild. Yeah, absolutely fine. But then Mike Daniels obviously become available, and they went out and signed him to a $9 million.
He's got a contender now.
$9 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they paid big money for a guy that's essentially going to be a rental for a year or so. Yeah. So that tells me that they're not in rebuild mode. They want to be competitive in the NFC North. So I think Slay will cost you a fair amount if you're going to go after him. But it would be a great acquisition if they could manage it. Exactly. And Brett Veach, I'm sure if he has recognised Slay as a potential guy to come in, I'm sure he is asking the questions of the Lions to see how much it would cost.
The other player I've got earmarked, being the GM of the Chiefs at the moment, is it's a bit of a cheeky one as well. It's Tre'Davious White.
Oh wow!
Yes, that guy who we would have probably got at pick 27 in the 2017 draft, but we kind of traded that away for for a 10th overall pick to get our QB1. So I would actually approach the Bills and go, "Do you fancy trading as White?"
Wow.
We'll have that 27th overall pick as well.
This is what you could have won.
This is what you could have won. Being a bit cheeky with that one, aren't I? But he's relatively cheap. He's still on his rookie deal, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I'd be knocking on that door. I'd be going to the Bills going, do you know what? Yeah, we'll have our 27th overall pick back, please.
I think they would tell you where to go.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. They love him. And he's a good player.
He is a good player.
As far as 27 picks go, he goes really well. He's been really good. Yeah. Done really well, I suppose, yeah. But I'm tired. I'm really, really tired.
But they're not... I mean, he's clearly... he's not on a team that's going to really be a contender for at
Disagree.
Least... What?
The Bills, outside of Josh Allen, they're really good.
Really?
Yeah, they're really, really good. They're hard to beat up there in Buffalo as well. I think they could be frisky this year, maybe. Really? Yeah, I think the whole AFC East could be a little friskier than normal, except for the Dolphins. Yeah, I do. And there's no way in hell. There is no way in hell the Bills are trading White.
If I was picking that phone call up, I'd be picking the phone up and going, do you know that... Yeah. Can I be cheeky and ask?
Do you know what I think might happen, though? What? If the Chiefs are going to aggressively go after a trade, they could go to the Giants, possibly, who are obviously wide receiver-less for the first few games with Golden Tate's suspension and a few injuries here and there.
Oh, I see. A player trade, yeah.
So they could do with a wide receiver. So we could see your mate being traded, old D-Rob.
Does my bet still stand if that happens?
Absolutely not.
if Demarcus Robinson becomes a Giants player.
Eli Manning's his quarterback. Yes, it does.
It still counts. Right, okay. I'm just double checking for our bet, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Really just double checking. Right, okay. Well, we've been rambling on about Chiefs camp or anything at the moment. Is there anything else you want to add to the Chiefs camp talk, or are you quite happy though how things have been going and the energy in the camp and that? Are you okay with everything at the minute?
Just don't get injured, Pat.
Just chill out.
Just like I think it was the Browns Hard Knocks last year or the year before. I can't remember. It was last year.
Yeah.
And someone touched the quarterback, and you had Greg Williams going, "Don't touch the quarterback!"
He's screaming at him.
And nobody touched the quarterback. And that is rule number one of this camp. Yeah. No one touch Patrick Mahomes.
Leave him alone.
Just leave him be. I know you rookies and you defenders that are fighting for spots on the roster. Do not put yourself ahead of us.
Yeah.
Because if Patrick Mahomes is there, you step aside and you don't touch him.
Yeah.
Just leave him alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if he got injured, I think I'm touching wood right now. Actual table, not me.
I was going to say, okay.
If anything happened to Pat, I would be inconsolable, I think.
Yeah, I think the whole kingdom would just shut down, wouldn't it?
I would just be sitting here miserable for the next year until next training camp.
Yeah.
It'd be awful. I don't even think I'd watch the season. I think I'd cancel the podcast for a year and just take a year off from NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quit Arrowhead Pride and everything.
Yeah. I don't
That's it. Over with.
I don't want to watch Chad Henne. It's like watching Tyler Palco.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not, because he's got Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and whatnot, and Andy Reid. But nonetheless, it wouldn't be worth. The Chiefs would go to a 7-9 season, because Andy Reid probably buys you 5 or 6 wins along with the weapons. 7-9, 16th, 17th pick. Yeah. We'd probably use it to trade for some player from the Dolphins or the Titans or someone like that, and we'd have to wait until next August for Patrick Mahomes to come back. Oh my God, it's so depressing. Nobody hurt Patrick Mahomes.
Just don't touch him, please.
Do not touch him.
Yeah, I think everyone's praying for that, mate. I would be happy as well him not actually playing any of the preseason games.
Yeah, don't put him in. Just don't
put him in.
Just don't put him in.
No, I know it's all about chemistry and things like that. But he's built that up all last year. Forget about it. Don't even put him in pre.
He's got chemistry with Hill. He's got chemistry with Kelce. He's got some chemistry with Watkins. Damian Williams looks legit. Carlos Hyde is a veteran. He knows what he's doing. The O-line knows what they're doing. Just leave him out of the preseason, please.
Just give him a 4-week rest.
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right, then we'll end it there, mate. Those are our thoughts on the Arrowheads Abroad podcast. Let us know your thoughts about Chiefs training camp. Who's your hot tip? Who are you really excited about? All that kind of thing. Let us know on the Arrowheads Abroad Twitter page at KCChiefs_UK.
Oh, Brad, one more thing. I've got a competition to do. I'm so sorry.
You've forgotten about a competition.
I did. I always forget.
You didn't even tell me you were going to do one.
I know. I forgot to let you know. So I've got the thing here. I just need to find. You need to tell me when to stop.
What's
someone could win a print. It was a Twitter competition.
Oh, very nice.
So tell me when to stop. I'm scrolling.
Stop.
Right, Daniel Shilotsky. Where are you from? I don't know, but he follows us on Twitter. You've won a Pat Mahomes signed print, courtesy of Ian Edwards.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I'll be in contact, Daniel.
Yeah.
Well done. And in other news, by the way, we go to 2 shows a week from next week.
Yeah.
We do. So double the fun every single week.
Oh, man. Talking about pre-season. Oh, God. Really? Thanks, Tom. Really. Looking forward to that. All right, then. So, from one kingdom to another, we'll speak to you again soon.